Today I'm going to introduce you the book The Great Gatsby. This story was a story written by F. Scott Fitzgerald. It is a story about a young man called Nick. His cousin, Daisy, is also a very important protagonist in the story. She is married to a person named Tom. They are both very important protagonists in the story. Nick moves into New York City in this story. As he moves in, he meets his neighbor, Mr. Gatsby. He is a very rich person and throws parties every day. Nick once goes to those parties and meets Gatsby. Gatsby asks Nick a favor to invite his cousin. He says that he had known Daisy for a long, long time and he once had loved her and wants to see her again. Therefore, Nick invites his cousin over to their house. They have a tea party and Gatsby shows his house to Daisy. Daisy is amazed by his house and riches after looking at it. After the tea party, Nick gets to know that Gatsby and Daisy wanted to marry, but when they loved each other, Gatsby was very poor, so Daisy left him since he could not afford the marriage. Gatsby, so he wanted to get Daisy back from her husband, Tom. And when Gatsby meets with Tom, he tells him how Daisy never liked Tom and only likes himself. After that incident, on the way back home, Daisy accidentally hits Tom's secret girlfriend / the mechanic's wife with a car and instantly kills her. Tom thinks that Gatsby killed her since Daisy was driving Gatsby's car and tells the mechanic that Gatsby was the person who murdered the mechanic's wife. Gatsby gets shot by the mechanic, and the mechanic also shoots himself in the same incident. On the day of the funeral of Gatsby, Nick gets very important with how nearly no one came, even though he was a very famous man. He had many parties, but no one from those parties came, and only his parents and him and some very close friends came. Nick decided to go back to where he came from, and the book ends. This book has many different meanings. It showed the American dreams, bad things, and how money really affects everything. Gatsby couldn't marry Daisy because he had no money and had to become rich to get her love and the marriage. This story was a very sad story since it included Gatsby dying when he didn't do anything wrong. When I first read this book, I didn't get any connections of how this would make connected to the real world. However, as I skimmed through it for some time, I could see how this connected to the wealth of people and how they get a huge advantages and how it is very important in the society. I will recommend this story to people who like stories that connect to real things and have meanings inside their words. Thank you for listening, and this was one of the book review of one of the most famous books, The Great Gatsby. Thank you.